Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your man, Dame DNYDC, host of the Two Mics Up podcast. Brand new episode, season three. And look, I really am at a loss for words. Today's guest. Um, some of you may be familiar with her and her work, but I'm a big fan. I've been a big fan, and I'm just excited that she's taking some time out of her schedule to really sit down with us and really just chop it up. And we're gonna get into her history and all of her work and everything that she's doing in the community. But before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead. I want y'all to sit back and just take a look at this quick clip.
Hey now, Etta Mae Mumphries here. Can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, I'm quiet. I'm hiding out in the closet because my nephew told me they got me on lockdown, all the seniors out here in California. So I don't want him to get in my business. But I'm here. I'm going to be okay, y'all. Don't worry about me. I got my stuff. I got the mother of all apple cider vinegar. I take care of me. I got my fish oil in case they try to get fishy with me. I got my Geritol. You know you can't get nothing past me when I get on that. And I got my Miralax so I can keep it moving. Oh, and my Quaker Oats in case I get starving. They try to starve me out. But anyway, you didn't see me. You don't see me. But if you need to get in touch with me, I got my telephone, my cell phone here. Gets pretty good reception even in the closet. But anyway, I'm going to stay here for a while, maybe make a break for it a little later on so I can get to the 99-cent store. In the meantime, stay prayed up. No weapon formed against you. I'm Etta Mae Mumphries. I'll see you later. You don't see me. You don't see me. I'm fine.
Look here. I mean, that's one of the greatest clips, and I find so hilarious. And ladies and gentlemen, please take a moment and give us a round of applause to today's guest, Karen Bankhead. Thank you so much, Karen, for joining us today. And we're going to get into your alter ego, who we just saw. But I
Yes.
have to start. Kind of take a moment. Who is Karen Bankhead? Give us a little background about who you are, your upbringing, where you're from, and all of that great stuff.
I can't believe I did that clip like at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was like didn't know what was going on, but and I'm not crazy, even though I have two egos. um, Thank you for having me, Damon. This is such a pleasure. Out here in California, it's a beautiful day. You got a puppy like me?
Yeah, so today I'm actually puppy sitting, and
Oh,
so
okay.
he's going crazy right now in the background. I apologize.
Oh no, no, we love the dogs. They got to do
Yes,
what they got to
indeed.
do. Um, yeah, well, I am Karen. I'm born in California. I'm an Air Force brat. My dad was in the Air Force here, right up the coast near Santa Barbara, and we moved around a little bit, and then we settled in Northern California. San Jose is where I kind of call my hometown. So, and I'm just one of these people out here in entertainment, trying to be an actress and a comedian. I don't know. Comedian is one of those words. I feel like I'm a comic actress more than that, but kind of fell into doing Etta Mae Mumphries, and I'm really blessed because it's not just comedy; it's also my ministry, if you will. And so I am lucky to kind of have some gigs and entertain people. And like they say, laughter is medicine. So I try to stay on track and listen to what God has for me to do, the opportunities. I've been really blessed to act. And I came down here to Hollywood to actually go to UCLA. So that's my alma mater. And now I'm living like right in the shadow of the Rose Bowl. I can almost see it from here. But
Oh wow.
yeah, it's right across the bridge over here. But uh, I had a great time at UCLA and pursued the acting career. Did a few other things. I'm a adoptive mother. I have a beautiful daughter
Oh wow.
um, that I'm really proud of. She's a lovely young lady now, and God blessed me with a beautiful helpmate. My husband is a great man of God, and so I'm just enjoying life, and I love to entertain. So here we are, and then I get to talk to you, Damon.
Well, I mean that is so much. When you sit back, and listening, and the things that moved you, like you say, you just kind of let the Lord lead the way, and there was really something just in that you said that really stuck out to me the most. Being an adoptive parent, and we have so many children out here in the world, that really need love, and need that support. And what, like I said, the Lord moves you, but what in what way, or what did you see, or how did you feel, or what was it that just one day that light went on that you said, hey, this is what I want to do, and you and your husband, coming together and moving forward to do that, because I think that's amazing.
It is. And if there's anything, that I can put out as a message, is that if you even think for a minute that it might be your calling, or that you have, like say, you have room in your heart, in your
Hmm.
home for a child. What happened? This happened before I was married. I was divorced from my first husband, and I
Okay.
was actually living a beautiful life over in Venice Beach, which it's a different now. There's a lot of craziness down there, but it wasn't as crazy when I lived there. But it was definitely, beach life, and it was beautiful. And I was looking out. I lived right on the boardwalk, and I was looking out, and all these people would be walking by with their dogs or their babies in a stroller. And I was single at the time, and I was like, I always wanted to be a mother, and I thought this would be a great place to raise a kid. And so, as God would have it, I picked up the newspaper. This was a long time ago, so we still read the hard copy.
Right. What
And
is that?
I know, it's like not online. But it was a article in the LA Times magazine about this foster family agency that was having new classes starting like that week. So I called them. My heart said call. So I called them that Monday. I started a class, I think, that week to be trained to be a foster parent. And then I was still acting. I was doing, little episodic TV stuff. And they called me after I got the training in, which is not that hard. I mean, if you have half a brain, they just want to make sure, you don't put the kids in a closet, don't, tie them up or anything, feed them, things like that. You have to know how to do. But they called me about a little small baby, like a 6-month-old boy. And, my heart said, oh, that would be so nice. But I said,
Oh,
I know. And I said, well, I don't want to get a baby and then put him in childcare all the time because I'm
right,
working. But
right.
then they called me, the next call was about my daughter at the time, who she was in another home, and she was about, I think, just 6, maybe 5.5. And so we had a little meeting. She came down to the beach. She was so cute, just running on the beach with her, shoes off and chasing the birds. And she had a lot of personality. And so little by little, I agreed to foster her. And then a lot of kids that are in foster care, it's not good. I mean, they can stay in foster care,
Hmm.
but some kids, if there's no hope of them reuniting with their birth family,
Right,
the best thing you can do is go ahead and be their real parent,
right.
and yeah. So, and actually, when you're a foster parent, they kind of monitor you more than some just normal parents.
I
Some of these
believe it.
parents out here, teaching their kids and like acting crazy. But when you're a foster parent, you really have to follow some rules. But it's not that hard. It's the best thing that I ever did. My daughter I call her my little, I call her my little, what do I call it? Tenacious T.
Oh,
She's got her master's degree. She's a
oh,
scientist. She's
wow,
doing laboratory research now. She helped with the COVID, her company that she's
wow,
working with. She helped develop one of the first COVID tests. And she's just amazing. And
wow.
so all of this happened, she blessed my life. She's doing great. And so all of us, especially African American people,
Hmm.
if you have some time, if you already have some kids, you
Yeah.
know, like I think Marie Osmond said, just throw another potato on the pot, throw another mattress on the floor. You can make room in your home. And a lot of these kids, it makes all the difference in the world for them to
It,
have one person
it
who really
really
cares.
does. And
Hmm.
I'm blown. Because I could only imagine, she had to have an amazing upbringing with your comedic side. Yeah, I could only imagine the things that maybe went on in your home as she was coming up. It was probably a blast. But another thing that you said in that really kind of leads into the next question. Her work as far as research with the pandemic and COVID. On the flip side, though, let, I want to turn to you personally. How has the pandemic affected you and your work as a whole, as an actress, as a comedian? Like, how has that been for you?
It's really, I think, for all of us, hopefully, we've got a better perspective. There's so much, tragedy, and it seems like you can't get on Facebook and see, somebody's aunt, uncle,
Mm,
mother, somebody pass, and you realize your own, mortality, and how important it is to just love on the people that you have in front of you right now, and
right,
just cut all the crap, if you will.
right.
I find myself, it's like if I have to go anywhere, it's like I don't have time for the niceties. It's like get away from me. Put
Yeah.
on the mask. No, you
Wait.
cannot come in my house.
Right.
It's like,
Elbows. Hey, keep
yeah,
it this.
it's
All
like
that.
we're not playing. And it's also just like getting stuff done. Like, okay, I need this appointment right now. What happened? Just kind of get into the nitty gritty of life. And
Hmm.
but for me, I have my husband and I. We both, our children are grown, and so we both have our mothers here, which is a blessing.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, and it worked out so that my mom's here, his mom's here, and we're taking care of them. So that's a big job. So for me, before even the pandemic hit, um, I was like, if I can work from home, that is the number one thing. To get in my car and have to drive or have to get on a plane or something was, it's challenging because you had to get a caregiver and hire people and all that. So
Right.
being able to do pandemic stuff here at the house, right in this very room with, backdrop and, props and making videos at home, like the one we just looked at, that is like my sweet spot. That makes me happy. And it's better because I don't have to, leave them or work out something
Hmm.
else. So that has been a plus. And I love doing shows on Zoom, being able to do a birthday party or a convention or something for the youth or something, and just being right here where we are and being able to do an interview with you. And, we're not
That's
in a studio
awesome.
together, but, across the miles, we could be in Europe or we could be in
Yep.
Australia, and we can
Yep.
still put out a product and entertainment. So for that, I'm glad that the technology has made it happen. For actors, we do, at the time before, we were
Hmm.
doing a few like at home self-tape auditions where the
Right.
actor, rather than going into an audition room and meeting with producers, you just do it at your house and put it
Right.
on tape and send it in. So a lot of that is how we're doing things now. So that has been
Mm.
a plus, aside from all the craziness and hardship that it has. I think it's really, I'm still working, thank God, and I'm really
That's
motivated.
important.
Yeah, and as soon as it happened, because I was already trying to push my YouTube channel, like I just want to put out a video every week or so. Every Tuesdays we do our speedy scripture on Tuesdays, and I was already doing
Hmm.
that. But as soon as it's like, oh, we're shut in, it's like, okay, people, we're still doing this. Check out our
Right.
videos, sit at home and watch, and just like what you're doing,
Hmm.
um, giving people something to do, and they don't have to be out in the world so much.
True. It's so true. And it's funny. I have to ask because now with that, like, how much do you find you're doing more work or having more time to be more creative in the spare time that you have, or do you find like because I know some people with the pandemic feel isolated and trapped, and we don't really in our community understand how to talk about mental health issues
Right.
and breaks and things like that. But that aside, because I don't want to diminish it, because that is an important part. But that aside, speaking to what you do in your craft, do you find that you have more time now to be more creative and to do what you do as an actress and a comedian by being at home?
Yeah, if it weren't for aside from being lazy and watching, spending too much time scrolling on things, there's no excuse. But
Right.
yeah, I'm not really big on, what do you call it, binge watching shows and stuff. But yeah, there's, I have a little iPhone right here, and just
Uh-huh.
being able to make content. You can make,
Hmm.
there's so many people out there that have YouTube channels. TikTok is kind of silly, but there's also some great content on TikTok that's
Yep.
educational and inspiring. So I'm trying to do my part. We got the stay-at-home choir that directly came out of this pandemic, because I have
Right.
my two mothers here, and God bless them. They couldn't even go to Target or the grocery store. It's like, I'll be back. And they're
Right.
like, wait, and they just think you're being mean, like we're just at home all the time. We just go driving around in the mountains and look at houses and stuff. But we started singing, and because I was like, I gotta make a video today. So I say, okay, you guys sit right here and sing along with me. And
Hmm.
it became this thing, which we're
I
having in
love
the
it.
fall. They're so funny,
Yeah,
and
they
just
are.
they are themselves, not scripted, never know what's going to happen. But as an actor, I'm not one of those people right now who can, there's a lot of work going on, like in Georgia and Texas and other places, Louisiana. I'm not really big on getting on a plane and being gone from our house for weeks and months at a time. So that part of my career is kind of slowed down a bit. Unless there's, opportunity of a lifetime, then I would
Right.
go. But yeah, doing more content is important, and just being creative. My writing partner and I, we we're taking a break now, but for almost every day or every other day for months, we would just get on Zoom every morning, like at 10, 11 o'clock, and work for a couple hours. And we have a project that's, kind of ready to go now, which is great.
Right.
So no excuses. Although there's a lot to watch, on channels and, fooling around and stuff, but you really can be productive if you choose to. Like you,
Yeah. You know-
you got the show
Hey,
going. Season
hey,
3.
right. Hey, look, trying to be as productive as possible for our community. For to do something different. I think even with what you do, and I said this before on the show, and I said it to other people. So I think we're great. We're great people by design. People of color, we're great by design, and this was no mistake. But I think sometimes I find, and again, I'm all for laughter and I'm all for comedy and what we call, I'm from New York, so we call it jonesing. We Jones on each other, right? Or we snapping on each other, going back and forth, and it's fine, right? And you got to be quick wit, and you got to have that movement, that action, and I'm fine with that. But I just think sometimes in the world that we live in, we're too quick to do the negative, and we'll jump on negative things. And I'm happy and I'm proud to have you on today because this is the side that really sometimes in our community I don't think gets enough light. It doesn't get talked enough about, and I'm going in saying all of this to go into your alter ego, your character, which I find her hilarious. It resonates with me because she reminds me of an auntie that I had, and when we
Oh.
used to go to her house as kids, it was kind of the same thing. So, how did Etta Mae's character, like, how did you design? Where did that whole development in that character and that alter ego come from?
Oh my goodness. Well, I love to tell this story, and I love that, the positive part. I love New York, by the way. For some reason, I've been listening to that Empire, Alicia Keys, New York,
Uh huh.
and all the Hamilton soundtrack about, the greatest city in the world, Manhattan.
Right.
Um, so I'm like, okay, Lord, this is in my head now. I'm praying that when it's all over, you got a trip for New York in my future. But the thing about Etta Mae, and I love telling this story, is that I went to New York to do an off-Broadway show,
Oh wow.
and it was not the most productive experience. The show
Mhm.
closed. I had pretty much sublet my apartment, left my day job, and I found myself back in Los Angeles, really needing some work. And then as an actor, I went on to this audition, it was for a series, which is a big deal, and I was all hyped for it. And then that's a New York word, right? Hype,
Right.
right?
Yeah. You got it. You hype. You hype.
Hype. Okay, I was really hyped. So I went in, and the casting person was it was almost like it was not going to happen before I even opened my mouth. And I was really disappointed. And it just dawned on me. It's like I'm putting so much of uh, my career trajectory and future
Mm.
into the hands of this one person. And it's like, you need to take control. So at that time, a lot of people were doing like one person shows and also stand-up comedy. And so I did a stand-up comedy class. I went to a convention and a lady said, yeah, you should go to the Groundlings and do improv comedy and do a one
Mhm.
person show. And I did all that. And I did really well at the Groundlings. I worked with some incredible Melissa McCarthy and Maya Rudolph, where
Oh,
we're all in the same class together. So it
wow.
was really, yeah, it was a great experience. But I said, I'm gonna write this one person show. And it was about, like you were talking about, mental health, right? I have
Mhm.
a degree in psychology. So that
Whoa.
is fascinating to me. Not that it matters. I can't psychologize anybody, but, but it's always that I did it because it is interesting to me. I gotta get some more degrees before I can actually be official. But
Yeah.
but I do believe in, taking care of your mental health. And at that
Yes.
time, I was completely, going in and out of major depressions and
Mm.
things. And so I wrote this show about that. And I did all these characters, which is something I love to do. And it was about me talking to Karen, the actress, saying, keep your head up so you can let your hair down. And, and God was telling me, wait. So I was like, okay, wait, I'm going to wait. But, can I
Mhm.
watch I Love Lucy? While Can I watch TV? And so I did all these crazy dancing characters. But at the end, I wanted an African American, like your aunt or somebody,
Mhm.
your
Right.
granny, somebody who's like that lady that you can go sit down at the kitchen table. And she said, "Oh,
Mhm.
baby, it's gonna be all right. Don't you worry. God's got control." I wanted that
Yep.
lady to talk to Karen, and because I had women in my life like that, my moms, my grandmas, my aunties, and my minister, this woman named Reverend Bernice Edwards, who I went to her church for years, and she was definitely my spiritual inspiration. So I watched this documentary, Ken Burns. No, it wasn't a Ken Burns documentary. It was a documentary about African American women. And I was looking at all these ladies trying to figure out, okay, can I do Lena Horne? Can I be Ruby Dee? And it's like, okay, I'm not good with these impressions. Just let that go because I'm not going to try. But in the documentary, they had these ladies who you don't know who they are, but they were these older ladies still living who would say, "Oh yes, I used to dance with Josephine Baker, honey. And, oh, she had one end of the course line, and I was at the other, and I was doing everything like that." And she would just clown and mug, and oh, she was a mess. And they just knew all these stories about, and then she went to Europe, and the rest is history. And so I said, I want to be that lady. I want to be the lady who knows what happened to Sammy Davis Jr. and Josephine Baker and Billie Holiday, and who it became Etta Mae telling all these stories how, oh yeah, I told Billie Holiday, put that flower in your hair, honey. Just
okay.
So Etta Mae was born from that, and everybody loved her. I did this one woman show, which was really it did deal with, coming out of depression and having faith and holding on. And, Etta Mae says, disappointment is not failure, and, dance, and you just keep on moving. And even if you get 15 minutes of fame, just take them 50 minutes, don't ever look back, and the rest is history. And
so true.
So she did all that. And Etta Mae became this whole phenom by herself, where I would do comedy and hosting and all that. So, and the rest is history.
Rest is history, and that is for sure. I really love that story because for so many of us, we find ourselves in moments of despair, in darkness, and we don't know how to get ourselves out of it. And I'm hoping that people will listen to this story and really understand anything is possible. Anything and everything is possible, with a little faith, a little hard work, a little determination, and working or finding ways to go ahead and get yourself some type of, help mentally, to help walk you through the process. And that was an amazing story. And that just really shows, your talent, uh, as a person, as an actor and an actress, and we're going to get to that. But before we actually jump into the second part of our show, I want to take a minute to highlight, our sponsors. Here on Two Mics Up, our platinum sponsors: TD3 Insurance Agency, Riddick Entertainment, Bubbles and Bruce Philly. Here at Two Mics Up, we're always about supporting small businesses. TD3 Insurance Agency. TD3 Insurance protects and covers all your insurance needs from auto, home, renters, motorcycles, commercials, specialty, and life insurance. TD3 is licensed here in the DMV, North Carolina, and New York, with a brand new office at 3985 Prince William Parkway, Suite 206 in Woodbridge, Virginia. Check my man Cliff out, give him a call, and he'll help you out with all your insurance needs. Riddick Entertainment is a multifaceted event management firm based in Northern Virginia. Whether it be milestone celebrations or corporate events, Riddick Entertainment's detailed creativity and precision event planning will give you a truly and meaningful experience. Contact our friends at Riddick Entertainment at info@riddickent.com. Last but not least, Bubbles and Brews Philly. Look, if y'all want to have, or you really want to understand what this is, an experience. I can't. That's all I can say. Check Bubbles and Brews Philly out. It's a vintage mobile prosecco and craft beer bar. It's a whole experience. Contact Bubbles and Brews Philly at philly@getcozybars.com. And if you guys have any family out there, y'all want to make sure y'all check them out because they do some incredible events. Love what they're doing, and we thank them for supporting Two Mics Up. Today, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the incredible actress, comedian, person. This woman is a whole vibe. Karen Bankhead, right, exactly. Oh, give it up, because shit. If you just joining in, you're gonna have to rewind, go back to the beginning. This woman is amazing. I'm proud to have her on as a guest today, and we're going to continue. We were talking about how Etta Mae, the character came about before the break. So I want to ask now. So what is your process like? When you're preparing, let's say, for a stand-up, show, or like you said now, a home event, thanks to the pandemic. Right.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for that? Like, what is it like when you're preparing, writing scripts and coming up with ideas for Etta Mae?
Oh, well, thank you. And you have some amazing sponsors, by the way. I'm really excited. And this is great. I'm like all pop, what do you call it? Pumped up now.
Yeah.
So
Hey, look, that's what we do here. We keep that energy going. Thank you
I
so much
know.
for that. Thank you. Yeah, we love our sponsors. They are the greatest.
They are. And so I'm happy. It's, for me, I like I say, I am a comedian, but I'm first more of a comedic actress. So
Mhm.
I love whenever I do get to perform like on a TV or movie project, the more charactery it is, the better. I'm like, to play myself is so boring. I'm not really into that, but sometimes you do. But if I have an Etta Mae gig, they want Etta Mae, and she's like I say, she's a everybody. Most of the great comedians, they all, from Carol Burnett to Richard Pryor to Whoopi Goldberg, and most of them have like an old person character. It's one of
Mhm.
those things that there's something about the elderly that is funny and real and fun to play. So always remember that people want to see that part. And if it's for a church gig, I try to throw in some stuff. I always am careful. I don't want Etta Mae to be like with her handbag beating somebody over the head, or I love Medea and all that, but Etta Mae does not have a handgun in her purse and that kind of
Right.
thing. So, and we talk about she's a single lady, always looking for her, Boaz or whatever you want to call it. But
Mhm.
um, I don't go too far in the craziness of all of that. But it's just kind of the reality of it, especially having
Right.
my mother and my mother-in-law here, old people, they do stuff like my mom when she first got her, like, not a cell phone but a mobile phone. She was so excited, she thought she was gonna put it in her purse and take it with her to in the car. I was like, no, you can't go out the driveway with that phone. um, but just a kind of if it's a special event, I like to find out, like I'm working with a company that's for foster youth that are aging out of the system. So kind of find stuff that kids might find funny. If I can let Etta Mae talk about Bouncy and James Z, like she really knows the song. Their little daughter,
Monty
Red
and
Vine.
James Z.
Yeah, right. She calls it Red Vine instead of Blue Ivy. But she, just kind of relate to the audience. If I'm doing a birthday party, like I ask them, like, where are you from, and what's, do you like Sam Cooke? Okay, I got some Sam Cooke jokes I can, put in there, and just really kind of personalize the event, and make it appropriate. Some, church. I'm one of those comedians. Like, there's a lot of people who do clean comedy,
Mhm.
but they also do things at a club. But if I go to a club, which I do occasionally, you're going to see the same Etta Mae pretty much. I
Mhm.
don't change it up. I don't have any different material. So just kind of make it so that everybody can relate. And people say
I,
it's like she's a breath of fresh air. If
yeah,
I'm in a comedy club, people are like, "Hey, this is
and,
different," because
and
yeah,
that's what I was going to ask. 'Cause, like, what is the reaction? Because, like I said, for most of us, when we think of comedy, we do think of raunchy comedy, like Eddie Murphy and those type. So what is it? Because to me, like I said, having you on, it is a breath of fresh air. And I always was curious what those responses were when you were, let's say, in a club, and how did people react and how did they take to your style of comedy?
it's I cannot complain. I think God makes a way. I think being authentic. It's not like everybody in the club is who likes raunchy comedy is
Hmm.
on their way to hell or something. But
True.
but it is, it kind of reminds people that you can get a laugh without using certain words all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's funny because I always have to decide, like, do I want to come dressed up already, or do I want to make a quick change in the ladies' room, which is,
Right.
and so a lot of times I just come in there with the church hat on, and and people are like, oh my goodness, who's, and sometimes people, you can see them really straighten up, like, oh, I better,
Right.
and it's like, no, you don't have to do that. We're all good. But people do appreciate it. It's funny is funny. And I think,
Yeah.
sometimes clean comedians, not, there's some people who feel like, oh, it's because I'm not cursing, they don't think I'm funny. It's like, no, everybody can be funny.
Yeah.
And so, and even some of the stuff that is, not my taste, but it can be funny. I just don't like to hear all those words all the
Right.
time. Like, you go on a cruise ship, I remember I saw, there's some comedians, like you do the 7:30 show for the families with the kid, the kids sitting in front acting loud and crazy running around,
Right.
and then you come back for the 10:30 show, and I see some of the same comedians super hilarious at the 7:30 show, and then at 10:30, that's like, all these
It's a
F
total
bombs.
different. It's a whole total different show.
Yeah, and I'm like, you were funny before, but but some people, I don't know. It's just a taste thing. But for me, I can't. Um, I actually used to do stand up when I first started. My first husband is a comedian, and he's a Caucasian persuasion, so we did a lot of jokes about black white marriage and stuff like that. And but then even then, I didn't really go to the harder,
Okay. Yeah.
R-rated kind of stuff. That's just not my
Not your
style.
style.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it just depends, and sometimes people want to hear, everybody loves different things. So for Etta Mae, I think the blessing is, and I have a few other comedians that are clean, and they always say it's like people sometimes really are appreciative that you can come clean and
Yeah.
not have to go a certain way.
F bomb it all the way through.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I like mine. Look, like as a New Yorker, I don't know, I have a varied taste. Um, but I do appreciate talent, and like you said, when you're given a gift, it's funny, regardless of there's a F bomb in it to me, and your style where it's telling a story, but it relates to me, as a child, like I said, with my aunt and things. So I find it extremely funny. Uh, and with that though, too, I want to ask them, how do you feel, Karen, at that, you know, how do you see Etta Mae's character, positively impacting our community? Do you see that in any way, shape, or form?
I hope so. I'm really trying to build my audience. I'm waiting for more viral moments and all of that, and I, keep putting it out there. In that, what really makes me happy is when, like you say, with when a mental health perspective. A couple years ago, I put out a New Year's Eve, put out a video that a lot of people reacted to, and it's just saying, you might have had a hard year, you might be disappointed, you might have messed up, your problems may have come from your own actions and
Hmm.
all that, but it's like, just like the Bible tells us, every day, we renewed every day. God is never going to forsake you, no matter how much you might mess up.
Right.
So when I can do that, and that's why I try with this, with the spiritual part of it. That's why I do the speedy scriptures on Tuesday, because I find a lot of people who, especially now with politics and stuff, they just, the idea, even you say in a Christian, people get a bad idea,
Hmm.
bad vibe from that. But I want to tell people, it's like, if you read the Bible, there's a lot of incredible wisdom in there, empowering for
Hmm.
women and people of color. There's nothing that you really have to point to that Jesus did or said that's going to hinder you or put you down, or make people
Right.
feel like they're less than, or criticize your lifestyle. You can find positive energy, you can find love, you can find encouragement, forgiveness, all of that.
Mm.
So I try to particularly put the scriptures out there and the Bible, and say, you can read the Bible, you can get your edification, um,
Yeah.
and from your religion, and you don't have to be crazy or bigoted or whatever the
So
word
true.
is.
No,
Yeah.
you're 100% right. And when you mention that, the spiritual verses that you share on your show, I wanted to also share this little clip here that we have of the Stay at Home Choir, which I find hilarious. So we're going to take a quick look at this real quick. And we'll be right back.
Hey now, here we are with our special guest in the choir. We got wonderful singer pianist Rod Hines. We got his mother, Mother Ruth, her sister Dorothy, her sister in the Lord, Mother Rose, and beautiful Chandra, his lady, and that fella back there who's just standing in the way. Oh, sit down now. Anyway, we got a special occasion. We ain't gonna lollygag on this one. A beautiful friend of ours on TikTok, her name is Leslie Boyd, is turning, I'm gonna say, 29 and some months. She had a special birthday and she wanted the stay-at-home choir to sing. So some folks got something to say about my piano playing. I know you've been doing, but I got Rod to step in the gap. Ready, everybody? On the one, on the tippity top. Happy birthday to you. You can say how a happy birthday to you. That's for you, Leslie. Happy birthday, dear Leslie. Happy birthday to you.
look, look, that was one of the funniest ones. I'm looking at your piano player, his face, his actions, the gentleman in the back with the dog. I mean, and just the whole. I mean, I just find that to be hilarious. Um,
Oh, thank you.
and I enjoy it. I hope everyone will take time to follow Karen, at Etta Mae TV, and follow her work. Support her and what she's doing for our community. I find Karen to be just amazing. And I have to ask if you could, you know, can you share like maybe a funny moment or something hilarious that happened maybe involving someone, an actor or entertainer, with our audience?
Yeah, there's a few. I'll never forget. One time I was doing a what was it? It was a play, and um, I was doing Etta Mae, and I was dressed up, and I was sitting in the back in the intermission, and this older gentleman was just staring at me, and then he said, "Can I take you out?" And I
Oh.
felt so bad. I was like, "Oh, you do know this is a," but he was really nice. But one of the funniest things, one of the funnest episodes I ever did as an actor, I did an episode of The Parkers,
Mhm.
and it was an episode that was written by two friends of mine, two women writers, Stacey Evans and gosh, another woman. They did a great job. It was called Single
Mhm.
Black Female, and Cheryl Lee Ralph. It was who I'd worked with on my very first TV series, New
Wow.
Attitude. It was her episodic directing debut, and so it was a great episode. And one of the things that a lot of people recognize me from, they're like, "Oh, you're that crazy lady from the Parkers." Which, again, uh, I'm not crazy in real life, and
Talented.
not at least not all the time.
No, you're
But that
talented.
was
Talent.
thank you, talented. But in the episode, Dorian Wilson, who is amazing, and he is just he's just a great comedic actor on every level. Everything that he's on a few shows right now. He's always been bringing the funny. So
Hmm.
I got to play his nemesis, and in the episode. In fact, I think you can find it on YouTube, but there's a part where my character is trying to take over Nikki's life on the
Hmm.
Parkers, and
Hmm.
there's this big glass vase that I end up hitting him over the head with to knock him out so that I could tie him up and take
Oh
over their
no.
lives as a
Yep.
crazy lady. You remember that? And
I
so,
remember that. Yes.
yeah, so on the set, these amazing people on the crafts people, they make a glass, breakable glass, and I think it's made
Mm.
out of sugar and whatever. And so I had to hit him over the head. And it just so happens that his little son, who's now grown up, was in the audience. And when
Oh.
the first day, because we only did it a couple times because you don't have to keep using up all these, made up
Right.
bases. So I hit him over the head and it went great. And then I heard this, "Wah!" And it turns out his poor little son was in the audience and thought I really hurt his dad.
Oh wow.
And he had to run over there in the audience and go, "It's okay. I didn't mean it." But it was the cutest thing, and did not expect that at all. But
Wow.
that was one of my funnest acting gigs that I ever got to do, and it lives on in infamy.
Yeah.
And
All right.
yeah, so a lot of people like, "You're that crazy lady." I guess I am.
I do remember the episode. And you guys haven't, go back, check it out.
Yeah.
Karen is amazing, like I said. And as we close out, because you had talked uh early on about being an adoptive parent, and I think that's a great thing. But what else um about Karen that you like to do outside of the spotlight and working on anime? What other things can we maybe find you doing or learn about you that you enjoy doing in your free time?
Free t I would if ideally, I'd say, "I'm really into my yoga game," I'm trying to, because that's the thing about this pandemic. It's like you really, if you have time, it's like it's a great time to get in the shape of your life, and I'm not one of those people. But I love, exercising, of walking. I can't walk as much as I used to, because I have caregiving duties and things. But
Mhm.
the one thing, and I will say, because this is, God will let you know what it is, what your thing should be. And a long time ago, in fact, when my dad passed over 30 years ago, God was like, "Yeah, your acting part is good, take it or leave it, but really writing is what your your gift is as
Mhm.
well." So I do write a lot. I'm currently guest blogging or contributing to this women's blog, spiritual
Mm,
women's blog called Sheology. I
okay.
found out there's it's if you look up Sheology, there's one that's all about like women's health issues, and I'm not writing for that one. Yeah, but the other one, it's a spiritual one. I think it's sheology.co. And so I write once a month and contribute. And I also have a link to that on my own personal karenbankhead.com website. So that's something I enjoy. And I've written a few plays and screenplays that I'm hoping to get out in the world more coming up. But I love just listening to God, once you do your like devotion, and
Hmm.
then you have motivation to kind of share on paper or whatever it is that on screen,
Right,
whatever
right, right.
God gives you to do. So writing is something I'm really passionate about. Like we were talking, I have a little pet doggy who takes up a
Hmm.
lot of our time, chews up a
Hmm.
lot of my valuable things. Mess, but we have I love being a dog mom,
Yeah,
and
it's a
family, just staying in touch with our peoples. And I love the beach. We When I met my husband, I was living not at Venice, I was living in Redondo Beach at the time, so being able to get down on the sand is a great thing. But we're out here in Pasadena now, which is also really beautiful. So
yeah. I love visiting California. I too am a I'm a big beachhead. I love San Diego.
oh yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. Anaheim is nice. It's nice to come and visit. Change the weather. Hopefully, when the pandemic uh change, we can get back to some level of normalcy as far as travel is concerned. Um, I want to thank you, Karen, so much for taking time out of your schedule to sit here and talk with me today and our audience. I wish you nothing but continued success and to continue to rise and soar in everything that the Lord has asked you and guided you to put your hands on. You're amazing. Before we go, I want to ask you if you could just share your information where our audience can find you, reach you, see everything that you're doing. You know, I want to make sure that we get all your stuff out that we can have as many people follow what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. It's like it's Sunday morning out here, and like I feel like I had testimony at church. I don't even have to go. I'm right here. But no, this is awesome, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. And I subscribe to your channel on YouTube, so I'm looking forward to seeing everything. And if people can subscribe, we have Etta Mae TV. It's on YouTube. We have over 100 videos on there. They're all different. Some is stay-at-home choir, some is the Speedy Scripture, some is clips from my acting work, some just crazy stuff. We went to Honey Baked Ham for Thanksgiving. All that kind of stuff. It's all there. It's all free. You can just scroll through, and please, please, please like and share as many videos as you can. Our TikTok channel is growing. I'm so excited about that. So the Stay at Home Choir is mostly on TikTok at Etta Mae TV, and Instagram. I post different things from my life and also Etta Mae's life on Instagram at Etta Mae TV. And then Etta Mae has a Facebook page on Facebook. It's called It's Etta Mae Mumphries. I think it's Etta Mae Mumphries on Facebook. So all the likes and the shares and the subscribing that you can do, just like for Two Mics Up, we appreciate it. It means a lot.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Karen Bankhead at Etta Mae TV. As you
Yes.
can see here on the screen, please go ahead, like she said, go over to YouTube, subscribe. It costs nothing. It just takes 5 seconds of your time. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Leave her a comment. Let her know what you like, what you don't like. Look, I like constructive criticism. Same for Two Mics Up. Let us know and support this woman in the work that she's doing in our community is very important. It's impactful, and again, I'm a big fan. Thank you so much, Karen, for
Oh,
taking the time out, and we'll be in touch because hopefully, as this pandemic changes and opens up, and you have other things going on, we're here to support you. If there's anything that we can do to help, any information you want to share, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to share it on our platform as well. Um,
oh, ditto, ditto. I'm so glad we found each other.
yes.
Look at how the universe works.
I mean, this is amazing.
Wild. It is.
This is amazing. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as we close out today here on Two Mics Up, Again, thanks to our platinum sponsors, TD3 Insurance, Riddick Entertainment, and Bubbles and Bruce Philly. Want to shout out my marketing and branding team over at 94 Media House, putting this whole thing together. Our brand new shop online at www.2micsup.com/shop. As always, take a minute. Again, I'm going to reiterate, follow us online, www.2micsup.com, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Two Mics Up. Go ahead and go down to the bottom, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment. Hey man, look, we can't wait. We'll see you next week with another brand new episode. And like we always do at this time, stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.